Hello, it's Colin from the Salvage Gardener, and I thought I'd just bring you out on this very blustery North Shropshire day to have a quick look at the garden. So we'll go around and have a look at the garden. It's all basically shutting down, but even having said that, we've got some rosemary flowers still flowering, which is quite nice. And I've just noticed over here we have a little primrose. How beautiful is that? Mid-December and there's a primrose already. If that don't tell you something about the seasons, I don't know what does. Everything is dying down now. I was having a good look around. But, we're going to go around the garden and have a look and see what we can find. Oh, there's still a yellow rose bud, and over here there's a red. This big rose here normally will flower all year round, with at least one or two buds over winter, and then a profusion of buds over the rest of the year. And over here we've got another rosebud. So the roses are still not worried about winter, and the clematis, the little buds are starting to come out already. Now that's a bit of a concern, because it means they'll get nipped right back, but it will survive, the roots will survive, and that's the main thing. There's still hips, red hips on the rose here. This is a rose which is very straggly but produces some lovely hips, rose hips, which I leave for the birds, and the birds do enjoy them, especially the blackbirds and the missel thrush that we get here. Hello, well, I've come indoors now. It's getting a bit chilly out there, and the wind's picking up, and it's also due to rain in about half an hour. Even though we've got quite a bit of blue sky, but there is a big bank of clouds starting to appear out the back. They say it's 9 degrees. I look on AccuWeather, which is a very good site. It gives you a radar map as well, and it says 9 degrees, but real feel is 2 degrees centigrade. We're in a yellow warning for strong winds, and as I say, it's supposed to rain in half an hour. It's supposed to be dry on Monday and then dry for about a week. Sunny spells with cloud or just cloudy. So we'll wait and see. I never go by weather apps completely. I'll sort of look at them every week or throughout the week just to see how they're changing, and then I'll basically, you could say it's the old finger test. I'll get up in the morning, look out the back window which is facing south, see what the weather looks like, look out the front window which faces north, see what the weather's like, and if it looks reasonable and it doesn't look like it's going to rain, then great. And then outside I've got a temperature gauge which tells me what the temperature is in the shade, not in the sun but in the shade, and I've also got a barometer outside which tells me how the weather's changing, the cycle of the change. And it's surprising how much throughout 24 hours that cycle can change from good to bad and back again to good and even back again to bad. So it's weather's a strange thing. It changes all the time. I hope your weather's not too bad and you're being able to do stuff and being able to do some gardening or some salvaging. I've not been out doing much salvaging this week, if any. I think I've done one lot, which was on Monday, but it wasn't worth filming because it was only a very small yard. There was nothing there, nothing of interest, and definitely not worth, you know, filming. Also, the owner of that yard, he will let me film, but he's not very keen. He tends to sort of follow you around at a distance, watching what you're filming. And on one occasion, some years ago, I did a film to send to some friends to show them some of the local salvage yards in North Shropshire. And he actually stopped me filming because I filmed a section of his yard, which he said that it was his reserve and he didn't want it out broadcast. So I said, fair enough. So since then, I've not filmed on his site. Salvaging is one of these strange things that you either go somewhere and you find loads and loads of good stuff, or you go somewhere week after week and you find absolutely nothing. It's something which you've got to really work at, and then once you've got the item, obviously there's the work involved to bring that item back up or to repurpose the item. I've got lots of various items which I repurposed over the years, or have basically brought back to how they should be. Most of them I've done, I then pass on to family or friends if they want them, or I'll advertise them. I have used Facebook on quite a few occasions, Facebook Marketplace, but you get a lot of time wasters. I find they'll send you a message saying this is available, and you go, yes, it's available. If you're interested, let me know. You know, and if you want to come and see it, then that's fine. Before you purchase, but then you hear nothing. If others, they make an appointment to come and see you, you wait in, and that time appears, they don't turn up, you wait another hour or two in case, you get no message and no one turns up and you don't hear from that person again. So yes, Facebook Marketplace is it's good, but it's also a pain because of the time wasters. I use eBay for items, but I don't do much on eBay. The items I sell on eBay are normally things which I've had and repurposed, or I've salvaged, used them or kept them in my collection, and then when I get something better, I'll then sell them on through eBay so that I can fund even better material which I collect, or to buy more salvage to repurpose or do up to keep. My main collections are all things to do with nature. Taxidermy insects, some taxidermy. I don't do a lot of taxidermy, I haven't got the space. And it has to be ethically sourced. Most of my taxidermy, in fact all the taxidermy I've got, is all at least 50 to 60 plus years old. None of it is new. The insects, taxidermy, it's all second hand. If I do buy any new, I buy it from a sustainable source. There are various different sites, in fact there's quite a lot of sites out there which sell new insect taxidermy, and they will stress to you that they do them from a sustainable site, which is normally from breeding farms. Most are in Asia, Indochina, around those sort of areas where they've got the weather to be able to breed them, and it's quite a big industry. So that's my main collections. I don't collect much else. shells, rocks or minerals, fossils. I haven't got many fossils at the moment. I've been concentrating on my other collections of insect taxidermy and things like some skulls and so on. Antlers I collect. So it's an expensive hobby. It can be an expensive hobby, especially when it comes to taxidermy and it comes to antlers. They can be very expensive, but troll eBay, troll various different sites, selling sites. Look for antlers which are not mounted. They're cheaper. If you go for antlers which are mounted, they're more expensive. But look for antlers which are not mounted, and then look at the antlers. Take a screenshot even, but then do a bit of research. So many people sell antlers with the wrong species. I've seen fallow deer antlers sold or being sold as red deer or Sika deer. Now, red deer and Sika deer antlers are very similar, but there is a difference. So, gen up on it. I've seen muntjac antlers being sold as roe deer antlers, or even roe deer antlers being sold as muntjac, which is even worse. At least if it's a muntjac being sold as a roe and you've done your research and you see it as a muntjac and it's cheap enough, snap it up, because they are expensive. Roe deer antlers are cheap, and muntjacs are very expensive. You do get Chinese water deer as well over here, and you will sometimes find those antlers, but there again, do research on antlers. With insects, don't rely on the names that they're listed at. So many taxidermy insects that I've bought over the years, I look at them, I research them before I even think about buying them or bidding for them, and very often you'll find they're not the species that they're supposed to be. I've even brought some insects, taxidermy insects, which have then been sent to me, and it's not the insects which I brought. They're totally different. Luckily enough, in those cases, I didn't have those insects, so I did a study on them, relabeled them, and they are now in my collections. But be careful and do your research when it comes to taxidermy of any sort. With minerals, rocks and shells, then yes, most shells are sold mislabeled or not labelled at all. So you do need to do your homework on them. With the minerals, it's very difficult to tell what you're buying until you actually buy it and it comes to you, and then you can look at it, and sometimes you'll find, yes, no problem at all, it's the right one. Other times you'll look at it and go, oh God, it's not what I ordered. It is what I ordered, but it's not what was labelled. And a photo can be deceptive, especially when it's buyers which only put one or two. Look for the buyers on all these items that give you, a full range of pictures and a full description, not just mineral or fossil or conch shell, when it's clearly not a conch shell. So now, sourcing, there's so many different places to source. You've got scrap yards, you've got salvage yards, you've got antique shops, you've got house clearance warehouses. Don't be frightened to ask. Ask. Don't be frightened to try and barter on the price. Car boot sales, another great source, but they're very hit and miss on what you may be looking for. And be careful of the prices. Make sure that they're not fakes, aren't anything. Toys are a big one. One of my local car boots, they've got several toy sellers and they sell hundreds of toys, all marked up as vintage. When you pick the box up, if they're boxed, check the box, even check underneath the toy. Very often there's a date on that toy somewhere. You'll sometimes find that what they say is vintage is 2015, 2016. To me, that's not vintage. Vintage is at least 20 to 30 years old. Check condition. Check whether they've been partly maintained, partly restored. It doesn't take value away, but it does affect the value when it comes to the pure collector. When you're collecting stuff, don't go cleaning up too much. Yes, make sure it's cleaned. If it's for your own collection, clean it as you want it cleaned. If you're buying it to sell on, then do very little cleaning. Just spruce it up to make it look good and make the photos look good. But don't try and make it look brand new. You take all the value away. I'm going to leave it at that because one, the kettle's just boiled and I'm dying for a cup of tea. And secondly, it's Saturday, it's 1:05. I've got to go shopping, unfortunately. Take the dog for a walk. He's patiently sat by the front door waiting for his walk this afternoon, and he'll be a real grump if I don't take Bo for a walk. So have fun, enjoy, and if you like, please hit the subscribe button and thumbs up. Send me a comment if you want to comment. Tell me what sort of things you'd like me to do. There will be, after Christmas, into the spring and the summer, there will be more trips out to various different places. I'll take you to more salvage yards, more big antique emporiums. I'll take you to historical sites and we'll go more out into the countryside as well and see more of the country. Also, there'll be more in the garden to do at the moment. It's just a case of keeping the garden tidy, keeping it up together. But very little work I do in the garden over winter. It's basically a garden that looks after itself. That's how it's been built, to be something that looks after itself. I don't weed. There's very little weed comes up, purely because of the amount of plants which are packed into there. So that stops a lot of weeding, saves me a lot of work. Any case, until next time, please like, please subscribe, send me a comment, take care, be safe, and if I don't see you before Christmas, which I think I will, but if I don't see you before Christmas, have a happy Christmas and definitely a happy New Year.